We all know the roles in a game of Valorant, right? Controller, Initiator, Sentinel, and Duelist. But how useful of a label are these really? Sure, they give you an idea of what a character does. Controllers smoke or make walls. Initiators stun, flash, sometimes get info. Duelists fight for map control. Sentinels lock down sites or watch the flank, etc, etc. But do they really give you an idea of what your job is in the team? Not really. And that's why pro teams tend to use different names for these roles in-game. Things like entry frag, support, lurker, and arguably the most important role, IGL. With Valorant coming to consoles, and a whole new host of players being introduced to the tactical FPS genre, we wanted to make a short series of videos to help these newcomers, as well as lower level players, understand these undefined roles, what they're supposed to do, and how to play the role so that you can jump right in and start getting that RR to rank up. And what better place to start than with IGL? So, for absolute beginners, the IGL stands for your in-game leader. This is the player who's going to be calling the shots, setting up the game plan, and leading your team to, hopefully, victory. A good way to think of this role is like a quarterback in American football. The IGL is there to unify your team, so it's not just 5 players running around doing their own thing. They're looking at what your opponents are doing and trying to think of ways to exploit their plans. This can be anything from calling a quick site rush to a slow default where you take map control and find the weak site. There's anti-strats, meta plays, tempo plays, all different kinds of ways to win a round. But what matters most is that you win the round.
He's low, he's low. Nice, boys! Let's fucking go!
So now that we have an idea of what the IGL's job is, let's take a look at a pro game and see it in action. Here we'll see Sentinels IGL, John QT, call a basic round at the pro level.
Come heavy A. Just come 5A, and let's contact on the get-go. Like,
can you drop him in?
Like, forget about ramp.
Drop me.
Can you just like flash ramp? I'll cage ramp, flash ramp. I'm gonna and we face lower.
Okay. I mean, drop me.
Okay, I'll shoot the flash. I'll shoot it. No flash. I'm orbiting spawn, okay? Yeah, falling down. I orb spawn.
Let's go,
Go,
boys.
guys. Come.
They're fighting ramp again.
I might heaven.
Sorry, next one. I'm in.
I'm saying ramp.
Oh shit.
Care the flood. Care ramp now.
I need heal.
Yeah, my orb's going down, guys. Care ramp.
Send me your heaven. Yep.
Wanna fake like it?
Yep.
They have Astral, boys. They're gonna flood us slide.
One ramp.
Okay, I'm coming.
You don't have nade, right?
They're using room, but reclear.
No.
Gustav, you have flash?
Come on.
Yeah, I have it.
You wanna
I have a
flash
camp
around
I
this?
have a camp for
Flashing
screen. Let's see his right side, the Zach.
I didn't see anything. I'm one down.
Screen heavy.
I'll call for your orb. You can get a...
Yeah.
Orb.
Orbin. It's weak though.
I don't want heaven.
I threw side smoke for you guys.
Fade heaven.
Raise out,
Heaven. One more heaven.
I'm flashing rafter. Nice one.
Ulted.
Nice! Let's
Go.
go, baby.
Fucking go.
That was a pretty straightforward play, right? Everything went smoothly, and we took the round. But what happens when things go wrong? Well, this is when you get into mid-rounding. You may have heard this term from the casters on the VCT. Essentially, mid-rounding is making changes to the play on the fly in the middle of a round. Like I said before, this could come from losing a key piece of utility because your dumbass teammate got killed, or maybe you guys just defaulted out, took map control, and are now deciding where to go based on the info that you got.
Give if we can.
Oh, well, the one moved.
You guys should come breakable. I have chem for you.
I'm getting out.
It's like calling an audible in American football. Sorry, I'm still from Ohio, and American football is the easiest metaphor to use here. In football, the QB will call a play. Both teams line up in their formations and get ready for the hike to start the play. But before that, if the QB doesn't like what he sees from the defenders, he'll call an audible, changing up the plan last minute in order to exploit a perceived weakness in the other team. This plays out pretty similarly in Valorant. Let's say the IGL calls for a default with the intention of ending on the B site. Well, as the attackers are getting into position to execute onto the site, the lurker will get into that position in a later video. Here's the enemies early rotating off A site. The lurker calls this, so the IGL makes a mid-round call to cancel the execute and reposition to the A site. Now this is an extremely simple example of mid-rounding. What's more likely going to happen is you call for a play that requires a piece of utility, something like smokes or a flash, but then your stupid ass teammate with the smokes and flash goes and gets themselves killed. Now you're left in a scenario where you gotta MacGyver a new plan using what utility you have left and what info you glean from the enemy. To help you better understand mid-rounding, let's take a look at another example from our GOAT, John QT.
I think we should try to A split. Wait. But slow.
I have no scaling though.
I'm back A then.
Yeah. You guys can go triple ropes.
Yeah, come.
Can you guys poke B heaven first, maybe?
I can.
Sure.
One ramp.
Here's the dog trailblazer broken, denying And he's sort of grounded, he might be able to gain Meteor. He's up close and personal now with this rifle in his hands. Does he anticipate this kind of danger? It's returned, at least with the fire, but he's already gained 2 kills for his team, and now John QT wants to put a bit of a move on here still. Doesn't have a rifle to take that fight, dodging, ducking, weaving. Finally, the run and gun in action. Sassy, singing his plan down. Man, okay, the nade just dodged about with the TP. Engage, Texture, matters into his own hands. He's just blitzed his way onto the site now and out through the back of it. Neurofem, maybe some false information, but they are looking everywhere now. Smoke, drop down, Texture, sticking, half, denied!
So now that you have an idea of what the IGL's job is, and some real-world scenarios that this role will have to deal with, let's talk about what agents lend themselves to this position. Typically, you'll see an IGL play a controller or an initiator, since their utility is key for setting up executes. Agents like Omen, Viper, Harbor, Sky, KO, Fade, or Sova are all standard picks for IGLs, depending on what's meta for the map. Sometimes you'll also get an IGL that likes to play a Sentinel. John QT loves playing Cypher because he can get info with his camera, sell fakes with his cages, protect the flank with his trips, all that good shit that helps when the rest of the team is executing onto a site. What you're typically not going to see is an IGL who is a duelist. I mean, the original Sentinels roster had Shazam on Jet while he was IGLing, but typically you won't see this because a duelist's job is to make space and activate at the drop of a hat. It's hard to do that well while you're trying to piece together the enemy positions and listening to the comms of your 4 teammates and setting up all kinds of utility, all that shit.
He's backside.
He's backside.
Can we make noise?
Yeah, we're making noise.
That being said, at lower levels, you might actually find a lot of success IGLing from the duelist role, since you're probably playing a basic 8 strong together kind of style. In that case, IGLing as a duelist simplifies the game, letting you call for the utility you need while you're entering a site. The last thing we'll cover here regarding IGLing is the work the role has to do outside of the game. At the pro level, typically coaches and IGLs work together to come up with their playbook, a collection of strategies that are viable on a specific map. There's 2 main ways to come up with strats. 1, you think about it. You think about the map, what agents would be good, what combos you can pull, what the current meta team comps are on the map, and how you can exploit that. The other way to come up with strats is to steal them. There are so many tier 1 and tier 2 Valorant games being played and broadcasted. Just watch what these teams are doing and try and figure out why. Look at what plays they repeat and see what little differences show up from round to round. The most important thing is to think about the game, understand the hows and whys you win and lose rounds, and then work with your teammates to make these wins happen. Typically, you're not going to get this in your ranked games. You're probably going to be playing what is called a puggy style, where you just kind of make on-the-fly plays, and they'll work. But when you start getting into Premier, when you start trying to play more organized, you're going to have to come up with a strat book. So there you have it. The next time you load into a game with your 5-stack, why not try IGLing? It doesn't have to be super complicated. God knows I've won hundreds of rounds just by saying rush B. But as you play more and get more comfortable with calling, try thinking up some clever shit, theorycraft some plays with your friends, and run them in some ranked games. God knows, there's nothing better than having the other team rage at you for tryharding when all you had to do was think.